Welcome, aviation enthusiasts and history buffs, to Classic Duels, a captivating mini documentary series that takes you deep into the heart of the adrenaline pumping battles that unfolded in the skies during World War II. In this episode, we go back to the earlier stages of World War II, and we're going to talk about the iconic duels between the Hawker Hurricane and Messerschmitt Bf 110. So the aerial dogfights between the Hawker Hurricane and the Messerschmitt Bf 110 occurred primarily during the earlier stages of World War II, especially during the Battle of France and Battle of Britain. Both aircraft would play significant roles in these critical air campaigns, which marked a turning point in the war. The Hawker Hurricane was a British single-seat fighter aircraft designed and predominantly built by Hawker Aircraft Limited. It was one of the Royal Air Force's RAF primary fighters in World War II, and the Hurricane was a robust and versatile aircraft, armed with 8 303 Browning machine guns mounted in its wings. The Messerschmitt Bf 110 was a German twin-engine heavy fighter that was initially conceived as a long-range destroyer that would clear a path through the enemy's defensive fighter screen for the Luftwaffe bomber formations. Armed with various combinations of cannons and machine guns, the Bf 110 was heavily armed but lacked the manoeuvrability of its adversaries. The Hurricane's agility and ability to turn tightly at lower speeds were crucial advantages in dogfights. Pilots utilised this manoeuvrability to engage and outmanoeuvre the less agile Bf 110s. The Bf 110, designed for longer range missions, faced challenges in the close-quarter dogfights over Britain. Its twin-engine configuration made it less nimble compared to the Hurricane, and it was often outperformed in one-on-one encounters. So, the more heavily armed Bf 110s would use dive and zoom tactics, where they would dive down on British fighter formations from a superior height, and use the plane's heavy armament and the element of surprise to pick off British fighters, and they'd make a few passes on the fighter formations before making their escape. And one advantage that the more heavily armed Bf 110s had over the Hurricanes was numbers, and they'd often inflict heavy losses on Hurricane units through sheer weight of numbers. At the outset of the Battle of Britain, the German Luftwaffe targeted RAF airfields and infrastructure in an attempt to gain air superiority over the English Channel, and eventually launch an amphibious invasion of Britain. The Bf 110s were often used as escorts for the Luftwaffe's bombers, providing protection against the defending RAF fighters. The Hurricane, along with the Supermarine Spitfire, would form the backbone of the RAF's defence. The Hurricane, being more numerous than the Spitfire, would bore the brunt of the initial air battles. Its design allowed for effective dogfighting, especially at lower altitudes. As the Battle of Britain progressed, the Luftwaffe adjusted its tactics, realising the limitations of the Bf 110 in dogfights. The Germans increasingly relied on the more agile Messerschmitt Bf 109 as the primary fighter escort, relegating the Bf 110 to other roles like ground attack. The Battle of Britain marked a crucial turning point as the RAF successfully defended British airspace against the Luftwaffe, preventing a German invasion. The Hurricane's performance in dogfights contributed significantly to the RAF's success, showcasing the importance of manoeuvrability in air combat. While clashes between Hurricanes and the Bf 110 over Western Europe became rarer and rarer, the two aircraft types would continue to clash in other conflicts, such as the Eastern Mediterranean Theatre and North African Campaign, and their last clashes would have been in the Soviet Union. The Bf 110 would find its niche as a night fighter, while the Hurricane also stayed in service till the end of the war, but it got phased out in favour of the Spitfire and other later fighter types. In summary, the aerial dogfights between the Hawker Hurricane and the Messerschmitt Bf 110 were characterised by the Hurricane's superior manoeuvrability, which allowed it to outmanoeuvre and outperform the Bf 110 in close quarters combat. So that's it for this glimpse into epic struggles of the past. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with more riveting tales of aviation history, etc. Check out the two videos at the end, or my CD reviews, or even the playlist I've created. Cheers.